Do you like boring movies and complicated beers?
Ooh. That's a good.
This is an episode for you.
This is the episode. You got to put that in the intro. Hello, and thanks for joining us for another episode of the What a Disaster podcast, where we watch, review, discuss, and spoil a disaster movie just as close to weekly as we can possibly stomach. I am Gregory, as usual, and I am joined this week by Richard.
All dogs are boys and all cats are girls. Settled science.
And Liz.
I wish I had something prepared to take such a strong stance on.
So you can just try hello.
Hi.
All right. And this week, we are reviewing the Netflix original How It Ends. It was actually just released like a week and a half ago or something.
Yeah.
Per our, a week. Yeah. On a recording date here, it's been like 10 days.
First off, I blame Brian Latarno for this.
Brian made us watch
Yes.
this. Did he, did he mention it? Did it make it into the podcast that he told us to watch this? Or was this just something that was when he was over here last?
It didn't make it into the podcast.
Okay, that's
It was-
fine. I was hoping that we had evidence,
Yeah.
but did he say it was good? I don't remember this discussion, but I do remember him telling us to watch
I
it.
remember specifically him not giving an opinion, honestly.
Okay.
And now I think about it, that's always Brian
That's-
has opinions.
Yeah, he does have opinions.
I've heard them.
Maybe he just really likes Forrest Whitaker, who is in this movie.
It was
Well,
in
you
this
know,
movie.
from the Netflix home screen, it looks kind of like an
The
interesting
Netflix?
movie. Netflix. Sorry.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Click, clicks. Yeah, so this one was directed by David M. Rosenthal, written by Brooks McLaren. David is most well known for directing the movie The Perfect Guy, and Brooks isn't really known for much of anything. And if it's based on this, if I'm basing it on this movie, he probably won't be known for
Well,
much
he was
of
the
anything.
producer, so
Harsh.
and it's his first writing credit, really. And then he also wrote the new Rambo movie called New Blood. Could you a laser title for a fucking movie?
named the new Rambo movie New Blood.
Yes.
So are they introducing?
New Blood!
Is New Blood is Rambo going to have a son that is also a hyper-violent murder machine that just wanted to be left alone, but then somehow the movie series exploded into the ridiculous, absurd, over-the-top single-man army?
Yeah. I think he got the plot right.
I liked First Blood.
Anyway,
He
this guy
was a
wrote New
mountain man,
Blood.
wanted to be left alone. Anyway, this guy.
He wrote New Blood.
New Blood.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If it's a lot like this, not a lot.
It also has Theo James, who he's part of the Insurgent series, which is
I've never
based
seen
on a
that.
young adult book. It's kind of like the Hunger Games.
Oh, I think I know what Insurgent is. That's
Yeah.
the one with that girl
Exactly.
that's in it.
This movie also has Forrest Whitaker, who has an Oscar for Best Actor.
Yeah.
That's
He actually he was one of the better parts of this movie as far as I'm concerned.
yeah. He does. Actually, the performances in this movie from the two main characters weren't bad.
Yeah. No,
It's
no,
just boring.
I ain't mad about most of the acting in this movie.
Yeah. It had a $20 million budget.
$20
Estimated.
million. That's
Yeah.
a lot of movie. A lot of money for this
Well,
movie.
They spent it on cars.
Yeah.
They spent it on the actors, and they spent it on 2 minutes of really good CG.
Okay,
Right,
but
right.
I'm not so sure they spent it on cars because to me, this looked like a 2-hour-long Cadillac product placement movie. Big, long-ass commercial.
Yeah, it was pretty
For Sprint commercial.
commercial. Cadillac, that car made it through.
Cadillac and
Cadillac.
Sprint. Yeah.
Well, if you never listened to our podcast before, if you're one of our new listeners, we spoil the fuck out of these movies. We don't
Get
care.
ready.
We don't care about warning you beforehand. We don't have any kind of wussy spoiler room. We don't have we don't have anything. We don't go off to warn our listeners. Like
We're
we
here to
watch this
ruin your
movie.
evening.
We're here to watch this movie for you in this case.
You know what? We don't have to ruin your evening. You can listen to this in the morning. We can ruin your whole day.
I prefer afternoon. We're ruining your afternoon because you have a good day going.
Listen
You're
to
feeling
us at
good about
lunch.
yourself.
Yeah, let's really put the brakes on the positivity
A good
you had
day.
going. The momentum
Yeah.
from you got into work, you're feeling really good, you got that project started, you're just banging out the work. Boom, boom, boom.
Answered all
Lunch
your emails.
comes,
Can
you
you
listen to
believe
our
it?
podcast, and crippling depression.
Oh, it's sad. I've seen it. I've seen it happen before.
And it'll happen again.
Yeah. Let's talk about this movie a little bit.
No, hang on. Let's talk about our week. We got the whole episode for the movie.
Yeah, we don't have a
Let's see.
guest. Let's talk about us.
Yeah.
How are
we don't
we
have a
doing?
guest. How
Yeah.
are you, Liz?
I'm good. How are you, Greg?
Really? That's what you're going to come at me with? I say, let's talk about our week. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
What did you do this week? What happened last week?
My friend and I went to an estate sale at the abandoned Packard plant factory, and we got a bunch of big plywood penguins.
Oh my God. I got to
Are
put
they
those.
amazing?
They're amazing.
I have
Oh.
a penguin band. Like, Greg, you're going to love these things. They're about 4 feet tall. They're wood. They're cut in the shape of the penguin. So they're shaped like a penguin. And we also have a gentleman walrus who has a monocle.
Oh.
And they're all
They're
painted.
huge.
And it's like an army of cutouts at my
That
house right
sounds
now.
amazing. Are you
Yeah.
going to get pictures of them and put them up on the...
Yeah, maybe I'll
Oh,
put
put
I
them up on the
I have
Instagram
to,
or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you
I
should come
will.
over and we should put photos in front of them.
Yeah.
The much larger polar bear band at the place
Oh, you
because I
shoulda-
couldn't fit them in my
You
car.
should have called me. I'd have shown up with our minivan.
Things Greg will do for a polar bear.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Polar bear band.
it's disgusting.
They had
gross.
sunglasses and stuff. They were so cute.
What would you do for a Klondike bar? Half as much as I'd do for a polar bear band.
Right. You should see what he'll do for a Klondike bar. It's
I'm
obscene.
still on probation.
How was your week, Greg?
My week was all right. It's mostly been just work stuff. But I did get some more cool weight stuff the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I saw.
got a keg, filled it with sand. Thing weighs a lot.
I actually hurt my back a little trying to pick it up earlier.
Got some bumper plates so that I can drop the weights in my garage and not have to worry as much about it. It'll be good. Somebody's phone's not on mute.
Sorry.
Silent, whatever it is. You
10,000 times a day.
take the call with your mom. You put her on speaker. She can be on the show.
Hi, Liz.
Hey, Dwayne, you're on the podcast right now.
Sweet.
How you doing?
This is my stepdad, Dwayne.
Hi, Dwayne. I'm Greg.
Hey, Greg. What's up?
Oh, just hanging out. We're doing the podcast on the Netflix movie How It Ends.
I wish I'd have seen it. I would critique it, but I've never seen that movie.
What was the last movie you seen, Dwayne?
How does it end?
Boringly.
Oh, hell, buddy. I think we watched Gremlins last night.
Oh man, I haven't seen Gremlins in a long
Oh,
time.
I love Gremlins.
That's a disaster movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys. Have a great night.
See ya, you
Bye.
too.
Talk to you. Bye.
Bye.
Also like those movie guys.
Those
podcasts?
movie guys, yeah.
Yeah. You know, they mentioned us the other day, but I've been listening to them. I've been getting a lot of my movie news from those guys. They're interesting guys. They're cool. I like their
Their
stuff.
episodes are a little longer than ours. I don't think they do edits. I think they just are like, let's talk and everybody can listen to us talk.
If you're in the market for like a podcast to get your movie
If
news,
you like
TV
movies,
news, yeah.
general movies and movie news stuff, those movie guys are a good place
cover
to
it.
start. No, yeah, we'll be back. So get ready because when we're back, we're gonna talk about
Being back.
being back. Actually, we're gonna talk about How It Ends, which is basically
How it begins.
it's no How It Ends is basically a Mad Max movie where nothing happens.
Moving was Sam's idea.
Come on. You know what? I doubt that. Sam would have told me that.
Oh, yeah? You think she would have told you that she wanted to move away to start our own life on our own terms with me without our father breathing down her fucking neck all the
Go
time?
ahead, say what you got to say. Spit it out. You know, let us know how you really feel, Will.
Sorry.
Get it off your chest. But just don't swear in front of my wife. Whose table do you think you're sitting at?
Well, sweetheart, it's getting late. Let me walk you out.
All right, so we're back with the episode on How It Ends. We're going to talk about the movie How It Ends. We'll tell you how it ends at the end. I'll tell you how the end of this episode ends. Me being angry and drunk.
With the score, an arbitrary score.
Yeah. So we're back. We got a bunch of... Richard described it as space shit during the opening credits. And then we're introduced to Will and Samantha, who are in a hospital room getting an ultrasound. The space shit was the baby.
What are we if not small universes, Greg?
Baby.
It's just, we're just actually if we contain many universes, there wouldn't be universes. Uni means one. But if we contained a bunch of that space shit and like lives and basically infinite stuff inside of us, we wouldn't be little. We'd be big to them. Gigantic. Infinitely large, essentially.
Humongous.
Immeasurably large.
As big as it gets.
We're so big. Anyway, this baby is not because it's still inside the mom,
Right.
who is Sam. Yes, William and Samantha.
So we see William
who
and
are in
Samantha.
a hospital getting a sonogram. Yeah, we find out Will wants to marry Sam, and he's traveling for work, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like he goes from Seattle to Chicago,
Right.
and he has dinner with Sam's parents
Yeah,
while
he
he's
goes-
out there.
Yeah. There's this like kissing scene when he takes off too, and it's just you can just hear his stubble grinding against her skin.
Sandpapering her flesh. And it's like 3 minutes into the movie, and we've known them for that long. It's super uncomfortable to watch.
Sam is seeing Will off and is like, "Don't bring up the boat." That's how she sounds, by the way.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen
This is the first time we hear about the boat.
Yeah, the boat.
The biggest, most important
It is
plot point in this
just-
movie. It is. Hangs
Man.
over these
It
characters.
is the crux
the
of
entire
all
time.
of their
It is
relationships.
a dark cloud over the head of Will.
Yeah, he can't help himself. He always has to bring the boat up.
He can't help it.
He needs to talk about that boat.
Mm-hmm.
What happened there? I mean, did he kill 4 hookers on it? Did he take it down in some like drug binge? Did he
Did he fill it with bottle rockets and then float it into like some guy's private dock and explode a yacht with it?
Right. Did he get caught? Did he get caught fucking it? I mean, maybe he was just fucking it.
Did he fuck the boat? It had a lot of exhaust pipes. I saw.
My imagination at this point is running wild. There are so many things
What
that can
happened
happen.
with the boat? Will shoots off to Chicago so that we can introduce another character to the movie. Well, 2 more technically, but one lasts through the whole movie. Well, through most of the movie. The other one we don't see pretty much ever again.
Or hear from
Yeah.
at all.
So Will goes to visit Sam's parents, whose names are
Tom,
Forrest Whitaker, and
April.
she was not in the first build in the credits, so I have no idea what actor played her.
I'm guessing it's April. I think it's April.
You think her name is April or the character's name is April?
I think the character's name is April.
What about the actor who plays April?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. She's no, it's not Kevin Spacey.
It's not Kevin Spacey.
I'm pretty sure it.
Wait. You're right. Bill Cosby.
Similar look. Still no.
She's a lady about 5 years older than the actress that played her daughter.
Seemed that way.
Yeah.
She seemed a lot very young. She seemed a lot very young.
Yeah, but he has Will.
Dinner is incredibly
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Forrest Whitaker, Tom, he is just a dick from the get-go. There's all these medals on the wall, so you can tell he's ex-army or
A
something.
picture of that damn boat.
They make it very clear that he's an ex-Marine
Yeah.
and does not particularly like Will. Will and him are having just the most terse conversation that you can have.
So at dinner, it's really uncomfortable. Tom's been a dick this whole time already. He hasn't given Will any leeway. Actually, when Will comes in, the first thing Tom says is see if she needs any help in the kitchen.
Yeah, sends him in to see if she needs anything. She's like, hey, he goes
What
in.
the fuck are you doing, Tom?
Hey, do
Why'd
you
you
need any help? And she's like, no, man, I'm like literally cooking dinner. Why don't you go back out there and take care of whatever business that you need to take care of? So he goes back out and Tom's pouring Will a drink of scotch.
Yeah.
I should have had the pre-show scotch. We didn't have
that
scotch.
scotch look fucking delicious.
Yeah, it was some nice looking sketch.
Yeah. But once again, doesn't make eye contact, doesn't crack
He
a
sits
smile.
down, tells him to have a seat, and he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll sit.
You know, it actually kind of Tom's kind of a wuss because like I would never.
Tom's got guts, though. He picked up that damn boat, that model boat.
Yeah, he does pick up the model boat like immediately. It immediately starts talking about the boat, which
Just
actually,
like the big one. He's like, yeah, it took me almost as long to make that as it did to make the original.
which unfortunately is the funniest scene in this movie.
Yeah. Yep. That's about all the humor you get in this movie, really.
Right. There's a couple other kind of funny scenes. That's the best one.
Ricky helps a little bit from time to time. This
I like
movie's
Ricky.
just a lot of boring, really.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I want to like this movie. The acting was great.
Yeah, I really liked Forrest Whitaker in this. He did very well.
Tom offers to buy Will a house or buy his daughter a house.
Yeah, they're at dinner, and Tom just says like, "Well, if I'm going to help you, I need some assurances from you that that my daughter will get the house if anything happens."
All the money goes to her if anything happens to you
Yeah,
guys. No
right.
offense. No offense.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom's a condescending prick. But,
Oh yeah, yeah.
But like he does get Will really good. He's like, oh yeah, well who paid for your room and board while you were in college? Because I guess Tom was like sending money to his daughter and Yeah, that's touchy. That's when Will loses his shit and Will tells him to fuck off or something. He drops some F-bombs at the dinner.
Yeah, and that was the line.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. All right, so we're finished, right? We're finished with dinner. Mom's like, it's getting pretty late. Why don't you head back out?
I don't like
the hotel.
Swear words. We don't use swear words.
We haven't sworn in this apartment since our kids were here.
Yeah.
All he's done.
Yeah.
All Tom has done is needle you and belittle you and make you feel small. And that's the thanks that we get.
That's the thing.
You swear, you say the swear word
The only
at
swear
the dinner
word.
table.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
No.
You're out of here, kid.
No. Bad influence. You're a bad influence to these adults who have never heard.
I've
such
never heard a
terrible
swear
language.
word. Kicks him out. Basically, kicks him out. He didn't seem to think so, though, while he's on the phone with his fiancée the next morning.
No. He wakes up late for his flight because
Very late.
I don't know why he was so hungover.
I'm assuming he went and got wasted post-dinner and they just cut
Right.
the scene or something.
right.
God forbid they cut some of the driving around through fields.
Those are expensive scenes, Greg. The bar scenes were cheap.
Yeah, she calls him. She's like, hey, you're going to miss your flight. And he's like, And it looks like he actually is staying at the control tower at the airport. When he
Yeah,
opens
you look
the
out the window, there's cars. Not
mean,
cars, there's planes.
Is there a hotel that close to the airport in Chicago? I guess like there's the one.
He's at O'Hare.
Yeah,
He's at O'Hare. I know
have that. There are some hotels that are really friggin' close. I
Yeah,
didn't know
O'Hare's
they
a
were
lot of
that
really close hotels, but I
Yeah.
don't know if you can look out your balcony.
and see runways.
I'm not an airport
He's
scientist.
FaceTime and the
I don't know.
FaceTime gets all wonkified.
Scientist.
There's some weird sounds. He's like, "What's that sound?" And she gets cut off.
She's like,
and-
I need help.
I'm
Will-
scared. And she's darting her eyes back and forth.
Yeah, that's what you do when you're scared. You look back and forth.
you don't move your head. You
Over
don't
and
put the
over.
phone down. You just dart your eyes back and forth.
That's all
Yeah.
she does.
And Will immediately panics. Like, oh my God, the whole world's ending. And he tries to get in his
What's
flight.
going on? It couldn't possibly just be a minor technical glitch. It's got to be the end of the world.
Yeah, so he goes, well, fuck this. I better get on an airplane. And he runs to the airport. But all his flights are canceled.
Power goes out while he's waiting for flights.
Yeah, and you can see the cancel.
Ominous
This is
television
where
programming.
we get the news saying, "Hey, there's been some business on the
There's
West
been some
Coast
shit."
where
Something's wrong.
something's wrong, something's happened.
What's
no
wrong, you ask?
communication, no
Something.
electricity, something.
Seismic activity.
Seismic activity off the coast of Los Angeles." Which
So what should we do next, Greg? What should we do next? Well, I should go to Tom, and we should get in a fucking car, and we should drive to Seattle. Yeah,
from
remember that guy?
Chicago to
Yeah.
Seattle. Well, I mean, to be fair, Tom wanted him the fuck out of his fair city, Chicago.
Yeah.
So Boat Slayer and Angry Dad are now on the generic journey across the country that happens in every fucking disaster movie.
And so at this point, it occurred to me we have Hero Dad, Tom, and then we have Hero Dad in training, Will. And Tom's going to teach Will how to be a hero dad because Will hasn't figured out how to be a hero dad yet.
Tom has a bunch of medals.
Yes.
now you did.
qualified.
Tom's a qualified hero dad, certified hero dad.
I mean, almost immediately they get on the road and
Yeah.
the world is a fucking mess.
Yeah, they go get gas.
Do we see a helicopter?
Nope.
We
not
get a
yet.
copter tease though.
Yeah,
You
there's a
hear
cop
one.
tease. There's a copter tease.
Cop tease.
Yeah. So,
Oh
but-
yeah. Well, let's go back for a second because they're at Tom's apartment, the parents' apartment,
Yeah.
and we see some F-16s just fucking buzz the goddamn city. So clearly he knows something's wrong.
Yeah,
because
there's
he's an
clues that things are a
ex-Marine.
little bit fucked. Like
27 years of his life were given to the Marines.
marining. He spent 27 years marining.
Marining.
Yeah,
That's not the Merchant Marines.
No. Absolutely not. So Tom is Hero Dad Prime. Mm-hmm. And they go to a gas station to get some gas.
Oh, we're missing the true main character here. We were introduced to our true main character, the Cadillac.
The Cadillac, yeah. They climb into the Cadillac, yeah. That survives things no Cadillac has ever survived in its life.
In true obvious product placement form.
Yeah, the Cadillac was definitely
That
the-
logo on that Cadillac stays shiny and untouched.
Oh yeah. Yep. They
get
they take off and
They get some
In their
gas.
gas hogging
the gas-
Range Rover
so the
Cadillac.
gas The gas station is all kinds of packed, right?
Yeah, cash only.
Cash only.
Cash only,
Will
and
apparently has tons of cash. He gave like the cab driver $200 cash earlier in the movie.
yeah, Will and Tom
Yeah.
both seem to be very prepared to just spend all kinds of cash.
They have tons of cash. This prostitute tries to get Tom to like buy her services. She
Important
goes,
question: did it work?
well, it should have worked. His backseat was empty and he wasn't doing anything.
Right.
She was like, "That's a nice backseat you got
My
there. You want?"
girlfriend's dad is peeing. I've got at least 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Beyonce's dad.
That's like 3 times the amount of time I need.
Beyonce's dad.
Beyonce's dad.
Beyonce's dad.
Fiance.
She wishes.
Ooh.
Shots
fired.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
doesn't work out. He's like, no, thanks. I'm
Yeah.
kind of not interested.
So Country Bumpkin number 1 and Country Bumpkin number 2, the extras, show up and are like, "Oh yeah, well you were mean to this lady, so we're gonna rob you." Obviously, it was a setup,
Yeah,
right?
it was clearly some sort
like
of setup.
one of many that happened
Yeah.
exactly like this through this movie.
How gullible can we make our characters?
How many times is Tom gonna fall for this
many
trick?
gullible.
Over the course of 4 days, how many times can he get asked for help or approached by a stranger and then attacked by their friends?
So, but thankfully, Tom shows up, pulls a gun out of the trunk.
Yeah, they're like,
Levels
give
it
me
at
your
him.
money. And he goes, it's in the trunk.
Let me go
Trunk
get it.
money's in the trunk.
Let me go get this money. No,
my
no, you
luggage.
guys stay there. That's how this works.
You just
right?
wait.
Whole
Yeah.
duffel bag of
You,
it.
you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Till I
Here.
pull out this fucking gun.
Yeah. What are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now? They ran. That's what
They ran,
did
yeah.
now. That's what
That
they
was
did
their
now.
decision.
But Tom is very. I'm
Tom
sorry.
is so mad.
No, Will.
Will is so mad. Well,
Will's
Tom was
so
mad too,
'cause
but yeah.
Tom didn't
Different
consult
reason.
him about the gun.
Why didn't you tell me you had a gun? First of all, it's his fucking car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second of all, mind your own fucking business.
he's in the Marines.
He's a Marine.
Yeah. So Will spends probably the next 3 hours not saying a thing. He's just fuming. And Tom's like, "You okay, man? You okay?" And he's just like, Just thinking. No big deal.
I mean, I wouldn't want to have a conversation with that man either. No. So
Just gives him the silent treatment. He gave him the silent treatment the whole way to the next stop.
let's just go to the encounter with Ricky and her family.
That's what I'm saying.
They keep going. They
Family
finally,
question mark. She says she raised herself.
after so fucking much nothing.
So they get their roadblock. That wasn't a big deal. We hear a cop there. We don't really hear it. But then a little bit later, it's nighttime, and this cop starts pulling them over. But it's not a. Why would a cop pull you over? Right? It's
Well,
things
you're
are
not.
fucked right now.
You're on what should be a closed stretch of road. So
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense to get pulled over.
So Tom is rightfully so a little paranoid about the situation.
Will does the absolute last thing you're supposed to do when you get pulled over by the police. And he's like, I'll go check it out. And gets out of the car.
Gets the fuck out, and Tom
before
doesn't stop him.
anybody approaches the fucking vehicle.
Yeah, that's a good way to get shot.
That is a really good way to get shot. Apparently not, because even the guy that was ready to just fucking shoot him didn't bother shooting
Will
him.
shows his white privilege.
He's a
gets right out of the
handsome
car.
white man.
Right.
He goes like,
He's
"Hey
afraid
man,
of nothing.
I'm a good-looking white guy. What's up? Why would you pull me over?" And it wasn't really a pullover. That guy wanted to rob them.
You
Yeah.
must be one of those police officers I've heard so much about.
Right.
Yeah, never had this happen before. So he gets back in the car. They take off running.
Well,
Will,
the guy shoots at them first.
yeah, the guy does shoot at them. He's
Yeah.
a bad shot, fortunately. He gets back in the car. They take off in the cars. They're getting chased by this cop car now. Will's like suddenly glad Tom brought that gun. So silent treatment over. And Will picks up the gun. He's trying to use it. And Tom's like, "You got to turn the safety off. You got to put a fucking bullet in the magazine."
Will has never
put it in the
used
chamber.
a gun before.
Yeah.
And Tom is trying to explain to him how to use the gun while he's driving the
90
vehicle,
miles an hour down the expressway.
running from this fucking axe cop guy.
Yeah.
There's no axe. I just like axe
He's gotta
cop.
look like axe cop.
He's
And-
got a sweet mustache, and he looks like a hillbilly.
Right. They get away from the guy. They just outrun him, I think, is what ends up happening. Something happens. They get away from the guy. But later on down the road, Tom swerves to hit so he doesn't hit some deer and just runs the car off the road. And they get fucked up by this tiny little accident. It's
Yeah.
the smallest accident.
But you know what doesn't get fucked up? The Cadillac.
The Cadillac seems mostly okay.
Yeah. They get fucked up. Tom comes out with some broken ribs, and Will's face looks like he was strapped to the bumper. But otherwise, Will's fine. And
Will's face,
those-
he just had a little knock
he
on
had like
his
4 or
head.
5 cuts.
I don't know why he had a knock on his head
Yeah.
from anything. It's not like anything jostled into him or he bounced off any damn thing.
It's not like the fucking airbags went off in
Right.
that car. Like it was,
Nothing happened. They just drove off the road a little quick.
yeah. But apparently Tom is Mr. Glass.
He's
and
knocked
he didn't
unconscious.
survive.
And when he comes to, he's like, Tom, where you at, buddy? Tom's not in the fucking car. But guess what? Super Cop has caught up with him and is ready to blast him into Death Town with his shotgun.
his gun machine.
His gun machine. It's just a shotgun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a shotgun.
It's
Which
not
they
a gun
don't get
machine.
from him. Now I think about it. Yeah, fuck. Later on in the movie,
Wasted opportunity.
like, so Tom beats the fuck out of that cop with the rock.
Yeah, Tom sneaks up,
yeah.
bonks him with a rock a few times.
but he wasn't a cop, right? Let's reiterate that.
Yeah, he was
They
not an actual
cop.
police officer. He's just a murderer
specified
trying
he's
to get
just a
people.
fucked up dude
Yeah,
mugging people.
fine. Tom beat not a cop in the head with
Non-cop.
a rock, and they don't take his gun, but they take his car.
Not the Rock. A
No,
Rock.
not the rock.
Dwayne The Rock Compton.
So the
There's Dwayne
Cadillac.
the dad Compton.
Cadillac is not running. They don't know what's going on, but the Cadillac
Yeah.
is not running. So they hitch it to the cop car and start towing it.
Yeah,
And this
Tow
is
it.
where the next day they encounter a reservation of some sort.
Native American reservation.
Where everyone has proper end of the world vehicles like late model pickup trucks.
They look good. They didn't look like they were even bothered by the end of the world bullshit.
Not at all.
And Ricky fixes their car. It has a broken radiator. It's very broken.
That cannot be the only thing that was wrong with that car.
I thought she said it was wrong
This
with
is
it.
a Cadillac
I know,
commercial.
but if the Cadillac wasn't starting, it wasn't just a leaky
It's
radiator.
a symbol of strength and grace. It can get through anything and take a $125 repair.
Can I say something else about this movie? So they meet Ricky for the first time, right? And this movie does this thing where it sets up all these dominoes, but doesn't knock any of them down. They even like have a bunch of pointless conversations. So at one point, Tom asks Ricky about the Buick that's out in the driveway, and they have a long conversation about a Buick that they can't take. They can't do anything with.
Yeah.
It has no purpose in their life. But we have to sit through this conversation about a Buick.
There were a lot of scenes like that in this movie, and I meant to point that out earlier because there are just
Hey, do you know what a Buick isn't? A Cadillac.
No, right. That's what they were like. Well, that Buick never
But
run
if
right.
the Buick is functional and not going to break down on them while they're driving to
She said it
Seattle.
needs a transmission.
Yeah, no, she
And
said
I myself
definitely
am very
shot that
aware
down.
of the toll that will take on.
No, that
your
absolutely. She shot
mobile-
that down. That's fine. But why did we have that conversation at all? We're telling a movie. The movie is telling a story
This isn't real life.
that
we don't
is
have we don't-
not relevant to the
Yeah.
story.
Because the Cadillac is stronger than a Buick.
This isn't. Yeah.
So it's just a product placement
Yes.
thing? Okay.
I firmly
It's an
believe
advertisement.
that this movie was 2 hours of Cadillac commercial.
But what about all the other times they do that when it's not about a Buick?
Well, shouldn't that
It's still about a Cadillac.
shouldn't Matthew McConaughey have been in this movie if it was a Cadillac
Oh,
commercial?
man,
Isn't
I
he in all
wish.
those
Or
Caddy
that
commercials
Grey's
now?
Anatomy redhead lady.
Or is he in the Buick commercial?
I don't know. Tom instead of Tom is Matthew McConaughey. I'm sorry, Will is Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, way better movie.
Tom as Matthew McConaughey would have been
That's
better
good too. Yeah.
I mean, Forrest Whitaker was good, but
Yeah. Wish Matthew McConaughey
Matthew
would have made
McConaughey being ridiculous over the top Marine man.
How to Lose a Cadillac in 10 days.
How to Lose a Cadillac in 10 days. So Ricky wants to go to LA for some reason, even though the world's fucking burning. And
Ricky doesn't know shit.
Yeah,
she
she doesn't
doesn't
know
know
shit.
about nothing. She's just like, let's go. She's in the middle of podunk nothing and just wants to go west. So they,
shitty relatives,
they bribe her to go.
$2,000.
No, $1,000. She raises it to 2.
He offers her well, he doesn't offer anything originally.
All the money in the
Offered her
world.
200
Like it matters.
and then another 200 to fix something.
So he offers not even to pay for the repair she has already done.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And then he's like 1,000 and she's like, no. And then she goes, all right, 2,000. I'll go with you. Doesn't matter. They get her in the car.
Yeah.
They could have kidnapped her. That would have been fine too.
Nobody seemed to care.
Nobody cared. Her parents were like, better not come back then because they don't like their child,
No, they didn't.
which is not unusual.
They were like picking on her or beating on her or
Yeah,
something
they're
weird.
definitely, she was in an abusive home there.
Yeah, it wasn't a great situation for Ricky.
They pick up stakes, start heading west.
Yeah, they do. She's in the car with them. Bad attitude and all.
This is where we get some hints that maybe that broken rib is not quite just
Oh, it's slowing
yeah.
Tom down, huh?
not just slowing him down, but potentially problematic.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are no hospitals anywhere between Chicago and Seattle.
So we see, yeah, right. So we see one of a few vehicular battle scenes. Is the best way I can put it
Manslaughter?
in this movie. Where,
Oh yeah, so let's they tow the fucking Cadillac with a cop car. Cop car is left behind.
Yeah, right.
Yet another
Right.
useless fucking thing in this movie.
Why wouldn't you keep the cop car? It sounds like a really useful thing to have.
Is the most wasteful movie that I can imagine. Like there are so many scenes that did not need to be. This movie could have been done in 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Because they didn't even use some of the stuff they gave you. He didn't get the gun out of the cop car. Didn't use the cop car, which would have been really useful to get the roadblocks.
I'd like to make clear that this is not some sort of art house film. Like, there's not some angsty stuff going on. There's not, you're not like
No conversations.
You're not seeing the scenery and just being like, wow, that is beautiful. I wonder what this has to do with the movie. It's just nothing.
Driving through the Midwest.
is-
It's just
A waste of time.
trees and road and very little conversation. These characters do not converse with each other very often. They don't.
No.
They don't talk about their lives. They don't talk about.
But none of the silence is tense.
No.
It's just the most boring road trip that you could have outside of these few moments.
And then something just happens, right? So they're driving on the road. It's late. They shouldn't be driving at night anyways because there's no fucking support vehicles. There's no street lights anymore. It's really dangerous. They're not running their headlights because they don't want to be seen. They're just driving in.
No, they're running their headlights, but not.
He
their
covered
taillights.
the taillights so that he couldn't be seen from
that's what
behind,
happened.
whatever that's
Yeah.
supposed to fucking do when your headlights are blasting light on the road in
For
front of
real.
I don't fucking know.
you.
So
Dude, it was asinine.
a car is driving on the wrong side of the road. They probably fell asleep, so I'm guessing. And they're driving head on to Tom, who's driving, and they swerve at the last minute.
Will is driving.
It doesn't matter. And the car flips. That's flying at them flips onto its back, and all the people in the car fly out through the windshield and die. It is like, wouldn't you wear seatbelts during the apocalypse? It seems like there's no support
yeah,
vehicles.
I mean, right. If you're gonna be driving in a dangerous area where dangerous things can happen,
With no
it would make
ambulances.
sense to have a seatbelt.
nobody
on.
wears seatbelts in this movie.
They're not hard to unclick and get out of a car if there's something that comes up.
Yeah, Serby and his car gets ejected, and they die in a bubbly, gurgly, bloody mess.
Yeah, nobody survived that.
Yeah, and another car starts coming, and Tom and Tom's like, we got to get out of here because we can't trust anybody. So they just take off and they just leave these dead people on the side of the road. Nothing happens with that. It's just is what it is.
Yeah.
Just some dead people.
Another wasted scene.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
And they take off. And then that's when they get to the water park. And they show up at this water park. And then Ricky jumps into the shitty water.
So
So let me talk about this water park, which is a particular area of interest to me.
You do love abandoned places.
I do, and this one was clearly way, way, way abandoned before any sort of end of the world situation started happening. But they still
Tell
took
that
its
to the
chips.
very clean looking pool water.
Oh my God.
Hot pool water.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was sitting in the hot sun.
It was a stagnant swamp of water. And
It
Ricky.
looked when she jumped, like when the actor was in the water and came back out, that water was clean.
Yeah, it was super clean. I thought the
Very
same thing,
clean water.
But it wasn't clean water. It wouldn't have been clean water in that
You
situation.
can see the building in the background, and it's boarded up, first of all.
Yeah.
But
that
it's
did
also
not happen
like
the night before last.
The water
no,
slide
it's
was
like gutted
dilapidated.
too.
Yeah.
It's like there's no windows. It's just concrete cinder blocks
Yeah.
and holes where the windows used to be because it was abandoned for 10 years.
Right.
But they still eat the chips. They still take the chips.
They wanted
From-
us to think that was abandoned when the whatever happened.
Yeah.
Okay, but they get the chips. They get a bunch of chips from something that's not just in the building, but like under the building in a crawl space.
Yeah.
She's like pulling chips out of a crawl space.
Chip stash. That she knew. Yeah, that's another thing about this movie.
Chips.
Get the chips. The other thing about this movie is Will is able to find things when he needs them immediately.
That's all this movie was either waste of time scenes where they're like, oh my God, this is so tough, but it doesn't drive the plot forward at all. Or, hey guys, we need to find gas and water.
There it is.
Done. Let's
Got it.
dedicate some fucking time to it in the movie, even though it doesn't matter.
It's okay because Ricky now has hepatitis and SARS.
They spent so
And
much
MRSA.
time trying to make sure that people were watching this movie going, no, how did they make it that far without gas? How did they make it that far without water? That they just completely forgot about the fact that they should be telling a story.
What story? There's nothing to tell. There's no story
They
behind
could
this
have-
movie.
They could have made this journey a compelling one. They
Yeah.
chose not to. Instead, they chose to be pedantic with what they were showing us from the cast.
It's
We're at our first real helicopter.
oh yeah, oh yeah. We do get our first real helicopter. We did skip something because it's so minor. I'm gonna mention it real quick. They did pull off the road and meet and get some supplies and stuff from one of Will's friends,
Yeah.
Meg. And Meg talks about her husband Adam, how he's not coming back. There's obviously some relationship between her and Will. Like they were like there's some attraction there. There's some chemistry.
I didn't get that from that.
It doesn't matter because that's the last you hear of Meg. She's in the movie for 2 minutes. Yep. They make it go through this whole thing. He has to get past the cops. He has to get there, and then nothing else happens with Meg.
The
we
only
don't know what
thing
happens to
you know what
Adam.
we get out of there? Some more fucking water.
More water.
And some more gas.
More water and more
And they
gas.
leave.
Great. Now we know where you got the water and gas for the next day.
That's
Thanks.
it. That's the only reason that scene exists.
That's why I forgot about it because it doesn't do anything. The other scene's important at least because Ricky jumps in the water.
It's just obnoxious.
Not important, but interesting, notable.
Yeah. So we're about an hour into the movie now, and there's a lady, and they're driving some more, of course, and there's a lady on the side of the road, and she looks like she has a flat tire.
So yeah, well, we start seeing a line of people.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like
and
refugees.
they're like, well, where are they coming from? And then they look the direction they were driving, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's just a bright fucking orange
They didn't notice that
fucking
earlier?
fire horizon.
Yeah. And they didn't stop to ask anybody what was happening. They didn't ask any of those refugees, like, hey, man, what's going on? Nothing. They don't care. They have one mission
Just drive.
to get to Seattle.
We
Shut
did
up
miss
and
the
drive,
storm because it was so unnotable. We missed the
Oh
storm
yeah, the
earlier
storm,
that they
the weird
passed through.
clouds.
It didn't matter. It didn't
Hail.
None of it matters.
None
They
of it
don't
mattered.
do anything with it. They don't tell us anything about it. There's no reason
why
that there's
there's a
this
storm.
giant hole in it. They don't tell us about super muscle tornadoes.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Obviously, this was the beginning of a super muscle tornado, but maybe they didn't want
yeah, I could absolutely tell
Yeah.
that that's what they were going for. You've read my book.
Yeah, the cone
So-
shape. You know, you're when it comes to cones, there is no better expert than Greg.
Yeah, so we
cone
saw the
expert.
super muscle tornadoes forming, but they never do anything with the super muscle tornadoes.
No, they don't. Unfortunately, like I come for the super muscle tornadoes, I left disappointed. There was none.
Yeah, nothing.
But they do today. This lady, a little bit away from the refugees, she has a flat tire, and Will, of course, once again, is like, I need to help her, and Tom's like, we don't help people. You're an asshole. Will gets out of the car and goes, you need help, lady? She's like, yeah, and she's like, well, come here. She's like, I won't. Okay.
Well, I'll come to you then.
I'll come
because
to you.
I'm a stupid fuckbag.
Even though Tom's like, don't do it, yelling at him. He's like, I'm going to come to you. And what happens? 2 more country bumpkins jump out of the woods. So it might have been the same guys.
Yeah, you know what?
New
Let's just say it
outfits.
was the same people, new
Yeah.
outfits. I
They're
don't
like,
even care that they're
You
not.
again. Yeah. They jump out.
Man, you are a gullible fuck.
They rob him. They steal all their gas. And they're like, you're going to kill us. Leave us one gas can. They're like, fuck you. And they take off with the gas.
Well, maybe if you hadn't tried to stop and help us, we'd have left you one.
Yeah, right? That's what you get for helping. So they take off with the gas. Will and Tom and Ricky chase them in their car. And this is where Ricky also shows that she knows how to fire a gun out of a moving car going 70 miles an hour.
Yeah,
And
she does.
Firing a gun at the car. Like she shoots a tire out of the car flips over. And once again, they're ejected
I
from the
would
car.
like to say that a back tire getting blown out will not lead to your car flipping wildly
Listen,
off the road.
In this movie, hitting a car with a hammer too hard will make it explode.
Unless it's a Cadillac.
Unless it's a Cadillac. Should have been driving a Cadillac.
Should have been in a caddy.
So once again, should have been driving a caddy because all the tires are inflated on the caddy. They had no tire issues.
Their safety features are second to none.
Yeah.
Literally,
Unless you're
because
Forrest Whitaker.
Except for
everything else
airbags.
just explodes when you are near it.
Except there are no airbags in the Cadillac, apparently. The car flips over. Once again, the guys are ejected from the car. One guy's kind of in the car still, but he's all fucked up. He's all bleeding and dying.
Yeah.
And
Still grabbing at that
Won't let her
gas.
take the gas.
yeah. And Ricky wants to help the people. At this point, Will's figured out a little bit that fuck the people, and he grabs a gas can.
It took
Yeah.
this. It took this for him to realize.
This is the only car that
people
blows
are
up for the right
shitbags.
reason because there's gas everywhere and there's fire everywhere from the.
Do cars really make do they make that airplane noise right before they're about to blow up? Like
Of
an
course they do.
airplane lifting
Duh.
off? Like
I mean, sure, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I've never seen a car blow up. I don't know. So the people die. The people who
Yeah,
tried to rob,
the people-
they die.
people die.
Ricky is pissed about this. And Cranky McRibs is in the back seat, and he's not feeling too good either.
No, he's having a rough time.
Old Cracky McRibs.
Old
He's in the back
cracky
seat.
McRib.
and
Man,
he's
I would
not
love a
doing great.
McRib right now.
He's doing bad, and at this point, you're like, this guy's gonna fucking die. He's like coughing blood up on the window.
What did they have to do to keep him alive from that collapsed lung?
Yeah.
Just spear him through the chest with a tube.
That's a little bit later, but it doesn't matter when it
It
happens.
doesn't fucking matter
happens.
when it happens.
It happens.
because I'm just skipping to it because
Torture
nothing
porn.
happens. That's
No,
worth
you
watching.
can't skip to this yet because we have
Come
2
on.
or 3 more important things that happen in this movie. And
You
that's
name
it.
one important thing.
Ricky just leaves in the
Oh, yeah,
middle of
Ricky
the
leaves.
fucking night. Ricky just goes.
She's gone.
So they pull over to the side of the road. Ricky says pull over. So they pull over to the side of the road, and
She freaks out.
she's freaking rightfully so. She's upset, but she's like, "I hate you guys. I hate you." And what the fuck? The world is collapsing. Nobody knew this. What do you expect these guys to do in this situation?
Yeah.
But she's really upset. She's like, I'd be better off on my own. And Will doesn't say the one thing that he should have said. You are a maybe 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
You're going to get raped and you're going to get murdered.
They're in the
And
middle
if
of
you're
nowhere.
lucky-
Odds are she's not even going to get spotted by anybody ever.
There are people everywhere running around Mad Max style in their cars being
Apparently, but not in the middle
Falling
of nowhere.
asleep at the wheel.
It just, they give you the timeline as this movie goes on,
yeah.
and it feels like they want you to think that it's a lot longer than it is, but it's a short trip. It's only a few days.
So yeah, Ricky just you're right. It's 4 days.
Ricky just up and leaves.
So they did fall asleep on the side of the road because they haven't slept this whole time. Ricky takes up and leaves the next day. They
You
can't
know where
find
I
her.
would have slept? That fucking lady's at Meg's house.
Right. Take a quick nap.
Can I sleep on your couch? Can we sleep on your floor? I
You're,
don't care.
you're no good to anybody if you're fucking exhausted.
Right.
You know, like
It's dangerous.
it's super dangerous. Obviously, there was fucking. That's why those one people died.
And
The
if
guy-
they'd have slept, they wouldn't have had any of those encounters.
right, driving around at night, stupid, stupid.
Bunch of damn ding
So
dongs.
Ricky leaves, and the only reason you know for sure she's gone is like all her stuff's gone. That's it, done. I hope you weren't hoping to have any backstory on Ricky or understand Ricky at all as a person because you'll never will.
Yeah, Ricky
She's
chose.
not an Instagram model. It doesn't matter.
She was the best character in this movie.
She was.
And they just, most interesting character in this movie, and they don't give you anything from her.
Nope.
A Native American girl who had a bad family, had all these things she could tell us, gone. You learned nothing.
Done. No, they can. I think.
No,
they
this is
thought-
it. This
yeah,
is it.
it.
So Tom and Will have the heart to heart because Tom's dying, coughing blood. They
Right.
stabbed him in the chest to relieve the pressure of his lung or some bullshit. And this is where Will tells Tom that he didn't wreck the boat, that it was actually Sam who wrecked the boat. They were really drunk and she ran it in the rocks. And she was so drunk that she was blackout drunk and doesn't remember driving it. So he took the blame this
Yeah.
whole time. That's it.
So the boat.
Yeah, there
was
the biggest plot point in this movie concluded. The only plot point that concludes in this fucking movie.
There was no
Concluded.
Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly rap video after all.
boats
No.
and hoes.
And I don't remember what order this goes in because it doesn't matter. We also found that like Tom knows that Will's pregnant with a boy. And
Tom knows Will's pregnant.
Yeah.
Will's not pregnant. Sam is pregnant.
I know.
With a baby boy.
I
She
know
talked
how
to her
anatomy
mom,
works, Greg.
and it didn't seem like you did for a minute there. I was just concerned.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Rude
So
ass.
you're right. This is where Will becomes Rambo. They get on this bridge.
Just there's a car and it's driving real fast and it's trying to get them, and there are a whole bunch of people, right?
Like they get this bridge of people with guns and stuff.
Yeah.
They have this checkpoint up to rob people,
Yep.
obviously,
It's
and they're
set
fucking
up
armed
because it's the
to teeth.
bridge.
Yeah.
In the area.
It's a choke point.
Yep.
And Will's like, this is bullshit. Will's learning at least. This is the only thing redeeming qualities. Will actually learns from his mistakes.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, pulls the car into reverse. They're driving. Will points a gun out the window, starts shooting people with rifles, just standing there out the window while driving at like backwards, probably 40 miles an hour.
Unbelievable.
And he's hitting people.
Yeah.
And there's these motorcycles that are chasing him who are just slamming their motorcycles into the car. It's like, what are you doing? You're in a I don't know. And then he yanks the wheel, spins the car, and Tom's like all broken and bleeding and dying, pulls the gun, points it out the window as the car's fishtailing,
Yeah,
and
as they're
fires off 4
spinning
rounds
wildly.
into this truck, which decides to just explode.
No, the truck veered into something.
Oh,
and
it did
exploded.
explode.
So it did hit something, then explode.
All right,
which
of
is
course.
great.
A hammer,
At least
small
it
hammer.
hit something.
It hit
first.
a small rock, a bump. It hit
Yeah.
the curb. It exploded. And then Tom dies.
Well, hang on. First, Will loses all humanity and is like, "Fuck yeah, I just killed a bunch of people." Wasn't that great, Tom?
Again.
And looks back, Tom's dead. Tom's just fucking dead.
Dead body.
This
He's
movie
like,
would have been great
"Fuck,
if
my
Will just had
murder
a
boner is
freak
gone."
out.
Murder boner is gone. Damn it. Where's that? I had a murder boner. I was.
So, Tom is dead. Ricky took off. Will's on his own to conquer the entire United States wasteland.
And the Cadillac has outlived 2/3 of its occupants.
The only survivor in this movie so far is the Cadillac because Will has lost his humanity, which is the same as dying.
Yeah. But can Tom survive another 45 minutes? Or sorry, can Will survive another 45 minutes?
The
About
more
Tom's
important question
disapproving?
is, did we survive another 45 minutes, or are we doing this as spirits? We will be back, and we will tell you all about it after this break.
What were you doing looking in my car this morning?
I wasn't trying to steal your car, Will, if that's what you're after.
You planning on leaving?
By myself, no. But we've got supplies here. I saw 2 kids. I thought that maybe they took something from your car.
Saw 2 kids, right. Where are these kids right now?
They're in the woods. I've been running a perimeter every morning since we got here. Come with me, I'll show you.
All right, we are back with the first we're back with How It Ends. Well, the movie is called How It Ends, but I guess we're probably going to talk about how it ends here too, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we have another break.
Yeah.
We'll have the break.
Just for the review.
We'll have How It Ends,
Yeah.
and then
We'll
we'll have
talk
the
about
break. and then we'll have,
how it ends.
Yeah.
ends.
yeah, we'll talk about how It Ends.
You are going to be so. If you listen to this bar, I can't wait for you to see how this movie ends. Ugh,
You're gonna love it.
it's incredible.
You're gonna
It
love
is
it. Why are they traveling
incredible.
across the country to get?
You're gonna
Sam,
find out
right?
All your questions are going to be answered.
Both your
It's-
questions will be answered.
The payoff.
Will this movie
is
ever end?
exquisite.
Yes.
Yes.
Will they complete their journey? Kind of.
All journeys complete one way or another.
Right. There
Yeah.
you go. All journeys come to an end eventually.
Yes.
So
Talk about this beer.
let's talk about this beer. Well, we have 2 beers to review this week. First one is from Nomad Brewing Company. It's called Long Trip. Is that Saison?
I think it rhymes with Faison.
Saison?
Saison.
Saison. I like it.
Stays on. Long Trip Saison.
Saison.
It's an ale brewed with the coffee beans, the wattle seeds, and the Tasmanian pepper. It's
Fucking
an
love wattle seeds. My favorite seed.
Australian beer.
My favorite seed is
The wattle seed. Yeah, that's one of my favorite seeds too.
Yeah.
Next to only the pumpkin. The salted, roasted, shelled pumpkin
The
seed.
pumpkin seed is
Pepita.
an exquisite seed.
When
It
it's
is.
got the shell on, it's the worst of seeds.
I like pumpkin seed shells. If you bake them.
I hate you. In this moment, my anger is palpable.
So first off, let's talk about the junk beer.
Let's
It
start
costs,
with
what,
this. Start with
$8
this.
a bottle
So
or whatever?
Nomad
Fuck.
is
Yeah, cheap.
from Australia.
The
The
Aussies.
Nomad Brewing Company is in Australia, apparently,
Think I'll stink you, Australia?
which is probably where they got the Tasmanian pepper.
Right.
This
And the wattle
beer
seeds.
has a lot going on.
Yeah.
I wish I had poured it into a glass instead of drinking it straight from the beer because I'm kind of enjoying it. It's very spicy.
Yeah. It's got a kick.
It's got some bite. It's very bubbly, light bubbles. I'm
Bit of a sour
enjoying it.
aspect, I felt.
It's a bit tart.
Yeah.
I would give this a drink it.
So yeah, I liked it too, Greg. I thought it was complicated, which is interesting. It was a good little beer, a good big beer.
Very stingy on
Very
the tongue.
stingy.
Stingy beer.
You don't pour it on your wounds.
Don't
It'll
pour it on
sting
your
you.
burns. You'll regret it.
Yeah.
Liz,
What do you think of that
what
beer?
do you
Elizabeth?
think about the Long Trip Saison?
I give it a drink. It. What do you?
It's a drink it once. I don't think I would seek it out
Yeah.
again.
I like
but
this. Yeah, drink it. Drink it's good though. Drink
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
try it.
You get it, drink it. You
Yeah,
drink it, get it.
Be fond of
Do
yourself.
you like boring movies and complicated beers?
Ooh. That is a good.
This
That's
is an
right.
episode for you.
This is the episode. You got to put that in the intro.
Yeah, I do. Boring movies, complicated beers. Welcome. What the fuck? All right, yeah, we got another beer.
We got another
Greg,
beer. Yeah.
I want you to review this other one.
Now, this one is kind of an oddball. It comes in a 9-pack and has it's so they look
Like
like
bowling pins.
they're shaped like bottles, but they're actually aluminum cans with a screw top, which is
Fascinating,
super
right?
interesting.
I'm so fascinated by the can bottle.
This one is from who brews this one? Miller?
A small
Miller.
little brewing company called
Maybe you've heard of the Miller
Miller?
Brewing Company.
yeah.
Are they owned by Anheuser-Busch?
uh,
A small company called Anheuser-Busch.
I think they might be. I don't know.
They're out of Milwaukee, I think.
But so the Miller, this isn't Miller. This is the Miller Light.
Yeah.
The regular Miller seemed like it would have been a little too much for us today.
Right. That's-
Yeah, you
We're
did.
trying the Miller Light. It's now before I get into my talk on the Miller Light, I am going to 100% unironically say Miller Light is a drink it. It will always be a drink it from me.
It always has been. I've
It's-
known you for a long time.
Yeah.
Miller Lite has been.
It is the one light beer that I don't dog on.
Yeah.
So the Miller Lite is not a complicated beer.
No.
Not a lot of complex flavors going
The
on.
hops invisible.
Super easy to drink.
Yeast,
Very
water,
crisp.
alcohol.
It's actually refreshing. I don't know what the alcohol content is, but I don't mind because I still enjoy the flavor of Miller Lite.
So Tom's on his own now, right?
Tom's on his own.
In the wasteland.
No,
it's like the
let's-
game Fallout.
No,
He would-
you guys,
he would be
Tom's
less
not
on his own.
He has the Cadillac.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He
It's
burns
gone.
the
Oh, that's
Cadillac.
The Cadillac breaks down. The
You're
radiator
right.
breaks on the Cadillac.
He's finally
Engine
alone.
seizes. So Tom takes.
The movie's over.
This part is maddening. The movie was over when we find out what happened to the boat. Let's be clear. So Tom takes the gasoline out of the car, burns down Forrest Whitaker and the car together, and I could just hear Tom's voice going, "What the fuck, dude? That gasoline. We killed people for that gasoline.
People died for that gas.
What if he runs across another car? He's gonna need that gas. It's short-sighted as hell. Burns down the car. Gives Forrest Whitaker a trailer park Viking funeral, and moves on with his day.
Yeah.
So Greg,
Yes, sir.
ash everywhere.
Ash
Falling from the
everywhere, and it's
sky
all
like snow.
yellow for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's very yellow.
Actually, the ash was kind of cool. I like the
because
cinematography
nobody
of the
bothered
ash.
to adjust the white balance.
Yeah, I think Liz is right on that. But he finally gets to Seattle. Well, he hitchhikes first, meets a family. You don't learn their names. Goes to his
yeah,
dad.
that's right. They're like,
goes to his dad's house, takes him to his
funny,
dad's
that one.
house. Who he talks about, and you think there's gonna be like some dad moment. Dad's not home. Dad's just not fucking home.
Yeah.
And he leaves the family there, and he goes, "Listen, there's food here. There's a generator here, and there's another car here. I knew you're 4-wheel drive. It's actually a pretty good deal." The family's like, "Good deal. Let's trade." He takes the Jeep that the family has.
The antique
Yeah.
SUV.
But I can't believe they picked him up anyways during this fucking half-assed Mad Max world. But anyways, regardless, they pick him up with the daughter in the car.
Yet
I don't know.
another moment that could have been tense or useful.
Interesting. Yeah.
It was not, because we could have just cut to him walking up to that fucking cabin in the woods.
Yeah. Everything that happens from here on out is just like it's gonna be condensed now in about 5 seconds. We get some cool CGI. We get to see Seattle all fucking burnt out.
Yeah,
when he gets
the-
to Seattle.
Yellow.
Husk of Seattle, yellow and ashy.
Yeah. And on the way there, he uses his superpower again, and he goes up to this ambulance and immediately finds a gas mask. Sorry, it was a fire truck, and immediately finds
Yeah.
a gas mask.
Yep.
And puts it on. It's like, there you go. He needed a gas mask.
Boom,
Gas mask
there
was
it
there.
is.
He
Need
should have just
water?
needed his,
Boom, they have
his
water.
fiance.
Need
If you would
gas?
see,
Boom, they got gas. Yeah, he should have just needed his fiance.
she would have showed up.
She'd
And
have
then
been there.
She would have been in a fire truck too. But she wasn't there. He gets the gas mask, which is really useful in this situation. And apparently, and he goes to Seattle, which looks amazing. Kind of. I actually really like the way Seattle looked.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
I'd like to mention that the Netflix, you know, when you're going through Netflix and it's the title screen where you're picking your movie out,
Yeah,
it was Will in a gas mask.
Yeah.
And Forrest Whitaker
not in
there,
the gas mask,
but not in a gas mask.
because he dies
Because
before
he
the gas
died
mask
before
is
the gas
necessary.
mask happened.
It was-
Forrest Whitaker's ghost.
Yeah, it was Ghost Dad.
Hero
Not-
Dad's gone. But when Hero Dad died, he did give Hero Dad in training his blessing. He goes, "You'll be a great Hero Dad. You are now Hero Dad Prime." And he sent.
I can trust you with my boat.
We
I can
did
trust
forget to
you with my
mention
grandchild.
the shit ass trope of take care of my daughter. Stupid.
So we get to see Seattle for literally 2 minutes of screen time. No people in Seattle. Nothing. It looks all fucked up, so it kind of makes sense. No people, nothing. No
I'd
animals.
like to say that anytime they show landscapes or cityscapes, they show it for way too fucking long. And then they cut to more of it for way too fucking long. And then we finally get to the point which did not seem to be cohesively tied to the previous point. So
Right. He gets to his fiance's apartment, and she scratched a note into the wall. Is there any more tired fucking plot device than in these movies where you show up at the apartment in a zombie movie or whatever, and somebody writes a lipstick
scrawled note. Yeah.
I'm alive. I'm here.
To be fair,
Because no
piece
one
of-
else would find that note. No scavengers or bad people would ever come across that
a
note.
piece of paper taped to the door would get
Only her
snatched
true love
just
can see
as-
Yeah. I get it. I get it's probably an effective way to do that. It's reused a lot. Maybe there's no better way to do that. But if it was a better movie, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, fuck you, fuck that, fuck this, fuck you, fuck
If
you,
the
movie.
movie did not smell terrible,
So now he knows where to go. And you don't even get to see that journey anymore, which is fine. Every other journey you got to see, but you don't get to see this one. He just shows up in the woods and finds his fiance
yeah, I don't know what the
immediately.
deal with that was, but that's fine.
And she's with the neighbor. The neighbor rescued her. Thank you, neighbor.
Thanks, neighbor. Howdy, neighbor.
Howdy, neighbor. So yeah, Greg.
Yes.
Will meets up with his fiance. She's hanging out with the neighbor, and the neighbor almost shoots Will, but doesn't. It's like a warning shot. And whatever. They're all hanging out. Will takes a nap and wakes up, and his fiance is down with the neighbor at a fire pit, which seems a little unsafe. But I guess they haven't been on the road dealing with fucking marauders and shit, so they don't know how dangerous it is to announce your presence that way. And Will walks up, like, "Hey man, what are you guys doing? Making s'mores?"
Making sweet
I would love a
love.
s'mores.
And they're like just eating some whiskey,
They're eating whiskey and
hanging out,
playing
and
fire
the neighbor
songs.
has this crackpot theory about how this is all simulation.
It's
He's
a
like,
simulation.
I'm a
That's why
software
everybody's
engineer.
acting all
Yeah.
wacky.
He's
And-
living in the Matrix.
And Will, instead of being like, I don't think that's right, let me tell you what I saw. He just goes, you weren't out there, man. You didn't see what I see. Never explaining himself, never explaining to this guy like what he didn't see. Never trying to like rationalize with him or have a conversation with this dude in any way.
Okay, well, to be fair, this dude more than likely fucked his girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
Why
he
are we
knows it.
still on that? I don't think that happened.
I do.
Why?
He at
Because
least
The
tried.
Walking Dead
It was
happened
4
before this.
days.
Long-
And The Walking Dead happened before this, and it's the same. Same
They were having an affair while he was in a fucking coma for months.
Yeah, that's true. The Walking Dead, it was months, like 6
Okay,
months,
well, nothing in this movie is quite right. So
or 2 months at least. Yeah.
she's an Instagram model. She's got like 4,000.
Yeah, but the nerd neighbor is not an
672
Instagram
followers.
model.
She just picked one, and he saved her life.
So
Her Amazon wish list was "Come save me from the end of the
water,
world."
gasoline.
Water, gasoline,
Fresh
save me
water,
from the end of the world.
Gasoline generator.
So the neighbor goes, "Hey, let me see your gun." Will hands it to him, and he pulls the clip out and goes. And early on, you see Will counting his bullets. He has one
Yeah,
bullet.
yeah.
And he pulls the clip out. Oh, it's empty. And Will goes, "Yeah, it would be better if I had bullets." The guy never checked the chamber.
Right.
So whatever, done. Will goes and has sex with his girlfriend. It's mercifully a very short sex scene.
They just cut from the fire scene to the
sex
next day,
scene,
basically.
and they
Oh
wake
yeah,
up.
fire scene, sex scene, next day.
Yeah.
And neighbor is being kind of weird.
Looking through
Hey,
his
why were you
shit.
looking
Smug
through my
as
car
fuck.
last night?
Yes.
And he
super
makes
smug.
some weird lies up, and
Stupid weird lies. He's like, he literally goes like this. Yeah, I saw some kids looking at it.
It's the weakest writing ever.
And they all ran away. Yeah, the kids were looking at it.
Ran
Yeah,
into
Very
the
clearly
woods.
lying,
Over
very
here.
bad.
Follow me into the woods.
very poorly
Yeah.
written dialogue. I don't know why anyone would continue to walk with this person.
Well, 'cause he wanted
What was
to kill
his
him.
name? Theodore?
Jeremiah.
You learn his name is Jeremiah. At the very
Jeremiah.
end.
You find out one time after he's dead.
I was looking at your car. You were looking at your car.
You
were looking at it.
Are you
Who's looking
sure
at
it
me?
wasn't? You sure it wasn't me? You saw looking at your car.
I'm acting weird. You're acting weird.
I was in the house.
I'm looking to shoot
at
you in the face.
at the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck your girlfriend.
I'm just really into 1950s SUVs.
Fiance.
Honestly, that would be me in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, you know
I'm
what?
sorry, it's a cool truck. I was looking at it.
Old ass Jeep looked pretty neat.
Follow me into the woods.
So he goes, "Come here. I'll show you those kids. Come here. I'll prove it to you."
Yeah. Let's go out in the woods.
Follow
Woods.
me in my smug
So
smile.
goes out in the woods with fucking Captain Strange
And immediately, you can see in Will's eyes, he's like, "I'm gonna shoot this fucking guy."
Yeah,
And
he was-
regardless of what he does, I'm shooting this fucking guy.
I don't care what if he just tries to give me a duck call. I'm shooting him.
Yeah, and that's what happens, right? They have this really awkward conversation. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And he's just like, "I saved her. I have a say in things." And then Will's just like,
They have a
"Don't-"
bond because he saved her.
right. And Will's just like, "Don't do it, man." He goes, "I have to." Really slowly turns around with the gun. I have to.
The gun.
But he's talking in slow motion. And Will's like, why are you talking in slow motion, man? And then Will just shoots
Also,
him
what
in
are
the
you
face.
doing with that gun?
And-
Oh, by the way, you're dead because
Yeah.
I'm shooting you in the chest.
Will could have tackled him. He could have hit him with a stick and won that fight.
But he had a bullet.
Yeah.
Why waste the stick?
So he killed the dude for fucking his girlfriend and fiance. I'm sorry, Greg, fiance. I know it bothers you.
Fiance, and they didn't fuck.
Right, whatever. Believe what you want to believe.
Instagram baby mama.
Yeah. And he comes back and he goes, and Sam runs out. She goes, "What's going on?" He goes, "Where's Jeremiah?" And she was like, "I had to kill him." She's like, "What?" That's it. That was her lines. They get in the car.
They get in the car and start driving.
Yep.
And then Mount St. Helens erupts.
And then you get this.
Is that Mount St. Helens? I don't know.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. There's
What
just-
mountains are in Seattle that are eruptible?
Doesn't fucking matter. It's
What do
not
they
like
call
this
it? What
movie
do they
cared.
call mountains that erupt? Is that a volcanoes?
Yeah.
Is that what those are called? The
I had to look that up.
volcanoes?
I had to look it up earlier.
Did
I
you
was like,
Google that?
Why would fire come from the ground? And
Well,
they're like,
yeah, right. Why do mountains explode?
Yeah, why do mountains explode? But then you get the most important line in any movie ever.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So Will's driving away, and Sam Sam's obviously very upset. He goes,
No matter what happens, we're gonna make it.
and the movie
I
ends.
know.
The movie
I
ends.
know.
That's it.
It's cheese.
Done.
Thank God this movie's over.
He outruns the fire, I think. I think that's what happens. I think we don't know.
Yeah, the pyroclastic cloud definitely dies down as they pull away. So
Yeah.
they do escape that eruption.
Yeah, but they're not in a
there's-
Cadillac, so I'm not so sure
Right,
it's
they're
gonna
in a
be
Jeep.
that
good
okay.
point, Liz. Good point.
I don't know what's going to happen. That
Yeah.
thing's going to break down. In
All
like
the
2
other cars
seconds.
flip over and explode.
They don't have
Yeah.
their mechanic, and even the Cadillac needed a dedicated mechanic.
Exactly.
Right.
So thank God this movie's over. This podcast is almost over.
I mean, it wasn't.
We're going to go to a break. And then when we
Yeah.
come back, we'll give you, our final thoughts and what we liked, what we didn't like, the final thoughts
I mean, now that we know what happened to the boat,
and a review.
right? As long as we know what happened to the boat, that's what's important.
We'll be back with the
We
boat.
can all sleep.
No one can explain what's happening. Not the government, not the media.
Any information?
All we know is there was an event, and the whole country went dark.
Sam, can you hear me?
My only daughter, she's alone, 2,000 miles away. Are you coming with me? We have no idea what's happening. I mean, I'm assuming that you've never fired a firearm.
No, I haven't used a firearm, but it's not exactly a priority at my law firm, is it?
We have to go right now! Shoot, Will!
You can't believe the things that I've seen.
We thought that there was a chance, but I don't know. No matter what happens, we're gonna make it, okay?
All right, idiots. I mean, listeners. I mean,
Friends.
friends. We have returned, and we'd like to discuss with you our final thoughts about how it ends.
Spoiler alert, there aren't that many thoughts about it.
Spoiler alert, there aren't that many thoughts about it.
I don't
We're
give
gonna
spoiler
go-
alerts. We talked about this earlier. That's for those jerks over every movie on Netflix.
Every movie on
that would
Netflix.
be the worst.
That would
Every
be
horror-
all
Every
so much
single
worse.
movie.
Starting a pound sign.
Oh,
my
God.
Sorry, every horror movie on Netflix.
Every horror movie
Patrick,
on the Netflix.
Chris,
Patrick Dunn, Christopher Slat, Steven Sonaris.
Yeah.
Okay, Rickard.
Hey, Gregory.
I would like to know what you thought, and then your points on the Richter scale.
So this movie was stupid. And it was stupid because nothing really happened. It was just a giant road trip. But I like the movie Road Trip of Tom Green. There were no boobs and there were no hijinks. It was just violence and road.
Explosions.
And very little violence. And some explosions and some road. It didn't do anything. That's why this movie was stupid. This movie was stupid because nothing happened. You didn't have to think. I give this guy a 3.76 on the Richter scale.
Wow. The Liz, what have you got for us over there on your final thoughts?
Out of 3 on the Lister scale.
Ooh, 3 point what? 3.
Nothing.
You'd
He's
have
one
to say
rounding
3.0 or 3.2 or 3. Have you ever heard them say the Richter scale? They always say 3 point something. Why
There's
did you
something
hate it so much?
Yeah, explain it to us.
Well, it was so boring that I had to keep stopping it and restarting
Oh,
it.
this
in
one was a tough one. I
different
agree.
places because I kept zoning out of it, and I was like, "Oh, another car explosion happened. What led to that? Not a lot, but
Hit a curb.
you know,
Yeah,
I had to
whoops.
feel like a completionist here."
All right.
What do you think, Greg? Greg, what do you think about this movie?
You know, in video games where like you're
Never played
walking
them.
and you run into something that's like ankle height, like a curb, and you just can't go past it. You just kind of walk along
Like
it.
Paperboy, the curb on the remember
Right.
that?
Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, just in like a 3D game, you're playing, you're walking, and you hit a curb, and you just can't go past that point
Right.
for no good reason.
I call it the Goldeneye effect. You can't fucking walk off the
Sure.
edge.
That's what this movie was. It was pointless and dumb. The whole movie was just wasted scene after wasted scene. They spent so much time not driving. They spent more time not driving the story forward than they did actually doing something relevant to what was supposed to be happening. For a hero's journey type movie, there sure was an awful lot of journey, but not a lot of hero. And it was kind of a bummer. This movie just stunk. Like there was nothing. The acting was good.
Yeah.
Given what they had to work
Surprisingly
with,
so, right?
The acting was surprisingly good. Yeah.
Theo, I can't remember his last name, but Theo did a great job. He did a
Everybody
great
was
job.
fine.
I can't believe he did a great job.
Worst case, everybody was like the worst actor in this was still fine. There was nobody that I watched. I was like, oh my God, why did they do that?
I agree with that.
Yeah, other than that, this movie was just a huge waste of time. And I'm assuming a waste of Netflix's money.
Don't even put it on while you're doing chores. That's kind of like my thing. I would say,
If you put it on while you're doing chores, you'll look over and you'll be like, now, why did that happen?
Yeah.
And you'll go back to watch it and you'll be like, well, why did that happen though? Because you just watch it and it still didn't make any damn sense. It still didn't matter. On the Gregter scale, I'm giving this one a 3.0. That movie was just, Me and Liz
Not
are on
even
the
that
same
point.
page.
You give it a
one.
B average too, then, huh?
This
In
movie
high school,
was-
that's a B average. I don't
This
know.
movie was shit.
This movie was shit.
Hopefully not. But thanks for listening to another episode of What a Disaster.
No, thank you for having another episode of What a Disaster.
You know what? You're right, Richard.
Yeah.
Call us and thank us.
209-781-9113.
Let's just-
Follow us on the Twitter at PodWad. You can follow us on Facebook. Find us at What a Disaster. We got the Instagram. That is WadPod. Yeah, WadPod on the Instagram. I
Okay,
think.
yeah, it is. You know what? Honestly, hit play on our episodes and walk out of the room.
Yeah, we don't care if you listen
Go to your
them.
sister's room, hit
We
play. Go
want-
to your mom's, dad's room, hit play. Go hit play on all your coworkers. You don't have to hear it. Put it
We
on
want
mute.
our computers
Yeah.
to think that you listen to us.
We
We
don't
don't care
care
if you
hear
actually
it.
listen
Yeah.
to us.
But if you do listen, I'm sorry.
Stay for after
Are you
the
sorry?
beep.
Are you sorry?
I'm not. I mean, I would be bummed if you didn't listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay for after the beep. Listen to some of the outtakes.
There's something that happens after this.
There's a
believe it or
beep.
not. There's-
Beep. Not that beep.
No,
though. You got to
it's
keep
different
going.
beep. It's a
Wait
different
for the
beep.
next beep. It'll be after the
Yeah.
music.
So next, I think, the next episode's either going to be Sharknado or Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World. We haven't made a
Hopefully,
decision
it
yet.
is Jurassic Park
Yeah.
2, The Lost World.
Right.
But hopefully, it's Sharknado.
Yeah, hopefully it's Sharknado.
But hopefully, all of our guests show up and we can guest them up. Because
Right, I want to guess the fuck. We have some guests on the line. If you want to be a guest, drop us a line. We don't care if you've never done this before. Have you ever sat around and been like, we're in a very vulnerable place as a podcast. If you've ever sat around and be like, I want to try that. We're the people to try it with. We'll let you.
Yeah.
We will let you.
If you suck, I will tell you. I fucking promise. But Richard will make you sound great.
I will do my best. But when we incinerate your body and your family can't find the remains, well, that's just part of the process.
Oh, apparently he might murder you. So maybe stay
It's only
away.
only if they're terrible.
Only if you're terrible.
Because if they're good, we want return guests. You can't ghosts that can't come back for seconds.
Yeah, ghosts.
No, they don't talk well.
Ghosts aren't. Yeah, they don't pick up as well on mics.
I think I'm gonna go home.
And B&M baked beans have been my favorite baked beans since I was a small child.
Yeah, you told me. I don't like
You were
baked
a wee
beans.
Gregling.
Since I was a wee Gregling.
Gregling.
I was actually first of 12 Greglings. Most of the eggs died, but 3 of us survived. I ate one. The other one managed to escape into the woods, but did end up getting killed by a coyote.
I miss Kevin. 1, 2, 3. 209 781 9113. Sorry.
Okay, get ready because when we come back, we will talk about a movie that is kind of like Mad Max, if you know, nothing interesting ever happened. No, that's a bad one.
Yeah.
In a world where nothing happens in a Mad Max movie, how it ends. We'll be back.